Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the life you long for. Not tomorrow, not in some far-off future, but now. Feel it as though it is already yours. Let the emotion of it flood your being. Reason may whisper, "It's impossible." The facts may laugh and say, "You cannot have this." But you are not here to bow to reason. You are here to rise above it. The world you see is nothing more than a shadow of what you have already accepted as true within yourself. If you wait for evidence before you believe, you will wait forever. But if you dare to believe in the face of denial, the evidence will come to you. Faith is not about looking at the facts, it is about creating new facts. It is not about asking, "How will this happen?" It is about assuming, it already has. Imagination first, reality later. Every great achievement begins in the unseen world of imagination. What you see with your physical eyes is only the echo of what has already been accepted and believed within. Yet, most people make the mistake of waiting for the external world to give them permission to believe. They look at their bank account before they dare to feel wealthy. They examine the mirror before they allow themselves to feel beautiful. They wait for circumstances to change before they allow hope to rise. And in doing so, they hand over their creative power to the very facts they wish to escape. But the truth is this, the outer world does not shape the inner. The inner shapes the outer. Everything you experience begins as an assumption, a picture held in the mind, a feeling impressed upon the heart. Imagination is not a child's game, not idle daydreaming. It is the seed of reality. The chair you sit on, the device in your hand, the building you live in, every one of them was first imagined. Someone dared to see what was not yet visible and persisted until it became fact. If this is true of physical creations, why would it not be true of your life circumstances? When you take the time to imagine your desire and feel it real, you are planting a seed in the only soil that matters, consciousness. It may not sprout immediately, but it must grow, for imagination sets the law in motion. Reason may deny it, circumstances may mock it, but the unseen seed is already alive beneath the surface. Think of a gardener. He plants a seed and covers it with soil. For weeks there may be no visible sign of life. Yet the gardener does not dig it up each day to see if it is growing. He trusts the unseen process. In the same way, you must trust your imagination. Once you plant the image of your fulfilled desire, once you feel the joy of it as though it were here, leave it be. Persist in your assumption and know that the world must conform. Imagination first, reality later. That is the order of creation. If you reverse it, if you demand proof before belief, you will never move beyond the limits of reason. The facts you see today are only the harvest of yesterday's thoughts. They are old, finished, already fading. To change tomorrow, you must sow new seeds in the garden of your mind today. So the question is not, what is true now? The question is, what am I willing to make true through imagination? Are you willing to see yourself healthy when the doctor's report denies it? Are you willing to feel prosperous when your wallet seems empty? Are you willing to taste success when the world calls you a failure? That willingness is the mark of a creator. Train yourself each day to step into imagination first. Close your eyes and picture the life you desire. Hear the voices congratulating you, feel the emotions of victory, walk in the joy of fulfillment. As you do, you are aligning with the reality that will one day break forth into the world of facts. The order never changes, imagination first, reality later. Hold to this truth and you will discover that life is not a matter of waiting for circumstances to shift, but of shifting yourself within. And when you do, reality has no choice but to follow. Don't bow to reason. Reason has its place in daily life. It helps you solve problems, calculate risks, and make sense of the world you already see. But when it comes to creating a new reality, when it comes to stepping into the life you desire, reason is often your greatest enemy. Why? Because reason is chained to the facts of today. It looks at your circumstances, your past failures, your present lack, and it declares, this is the truth. You cannot go beyond this. Reason clings to statistics, probabilities, and so-called facts. But facts are only frozen states of consciousness, temporary reflections of yesterday's beliefs. They are not eternal. They are not final. If you allow reason to dictate what you believe is possible, you will remain stuck in the cycle of what already exists. You will bow to facts, and facts will rule you. But if you dare to rise above reason, if you refuse to bow to what your senses declare, you step into faith, and faith is the power that transforms. Think about every breakthrough humanity has ever made. At one time, reason declared it impossible. Flying was once unreasonable. Talking across continents was unreasonable. Walking on the moon was unreasonable. Yet visionaries refused to bow to reason. They saw beyond facts, imagined what could be, and persisted until the world conformed. Your personal life is no different. When you look at your current situation, reason will list every obstacle. You don't have the money. You don't have the education. You're too old. You're too young. It's too late. If you accept these voices, you forfeit your creative power. But if you dare to deny them, to stand firm in your inner vision, you become the master of your destiny. Do not misunderstand, this is not a call to ignore logic in everyday tasks. You still balance your accounts, pay your bills, and drive safely. But when it comes to your dream, your vision, your desire, you must learn to silence reason's voice. Faith begins where reason ends. The key is persistence. At first, reason will shout loudly. It will show you evidence that your dream is impossible. But as you persist in your assumption, as you repeatedly return to the feeling of your wish fulfilled, reason's voice grows weaker. Eventually, what was once unreasonable becomes the most natural thing in the world. Imagine a farmer planting seeds. If he judged the harvest by the barren field, reason would tell him he is wasting his time. But the farmer knows the truth. He knows the seed works invisibly before it breaks through the soil. In the same way, when you hold fast to your vision, even when reason sees nothing, you are nurturing the seed of your future. So whenever reason tells you no, let faith answer yes. Whenever facts deny you, let imagination affirm you. Stand firm in your inner conviction, and watch as reason is forced to bow to you. For reason only measures what has been. Faith declares what shall be. Never forget, every fact you see today was once defied by someone's faith. Refuse to bow to reason. Dare to believe in the unseen. And in time, the world will bend to your assumption. The outer world reflects the inner. Look around you. Every circumstance, every person, every event in your life, they are not random accidents. They are reflections of your inner state of being. The outer world is nothing more than a mirror of your inner world. Change the reflection in the mirror, and nothing happens. But change the face that is being reflected, and the entire image transforms. This is the law of life. What you accept as true within yourself will project outward into the world you experience. The thoughts you dwell upon, the feelings you nurture, the assumptions you persist in, these become the building blocks of your reality. The outer world has no choice but to rearrange itself to match your inner convictions. Most people live in reverse. They look at the outer world and let it dictate how they feel inside. If circumstances are good, they feel hopeful. If circumstances are bad, they feel hopeless. But the wise understand that the process flows the other way. The inner produces the outer. The cause is always within, the effect is always without. Imagine standing before a mirror. If you frown at your reflection, do you expect the reflection to smile back? Of course not. Yet this is how most of us live. We complain about the world, not realizing the world is only reflecting our own inner attitude. To see a smile, you must first smile. To see abundance, you must first assume abundance. To experience love, you must first embody love. This is why inner work is the greatest work. When you change your assumptions, when you shift your self-concept, when you cultivate new feelings, you are planting seeds in the only soil that matters. In time, those seeds sprout into experiences, relationships, and opportunities. The outer world simply mirrors the harvest of your inner garden. Think of your life as a stage play. The characters may change, the settings may vary, but the script comes from within you. If you carry beliefs of lack, betrayal, or failure, the stage will present actors to play those roles. If you carry beliefs of abundance, loyalty, and success, new actors will appear to play those roles instead. The stage of life bends itself to your assumptions. This truth can be confronting, because it means you cannot blame the outer world for your condition. But it is also liberating, because it means you hold the key to change. You no longer have to wait for the world to shift before you feel free. You shift within yourself, and the world follows. So how do you apply this truth? Begin each day by asking, what am I assuming to be true about myself and my life? Notice the stories you tell yourself. Are they stories of limitation, doubt, and fear? Or are they stories of confidence, abundance, and joy? Whatever stories you repeat inwardly will become the outer play you live through. Train yourself to feel now what you wish to see later. If you desire love, dwell on the feeling of being cherished. If you desire wealth, nurture the feeling of being prosperous. If you desire health, imagine the vitality of perfect well-being. Do this consistently, and the mirror of life will reflect your new inner state. Remember, the world is yourself pushed out. To change what you see, you must first change who you are within. The outer is only an echo, the true voice is within your imagination. Align that voice with your highest desire, and life will echo it faithfully. Faith creates facts. The world teaches you to believe only what you can see. It says, I'll believe it when I see it. But creation doesn't work that way. The truth is the opposite, you will see it when you believe it. Faith is not blind. Faith is creative. It does not wait for facts, it generates them. Think about this carefully. Every fact in your life today, your home, your job, your relationships, even the challenges you face, all of it was born first in imagination and sustained by belief. What you once accepted as true, whether consciously or unconsciously, eventually hardened into fact. That is the power of faith. Faith is not hoping. Hope waits. Faith acts as though it is already done. Faith assumes, persists, and knows. It does not concern itself with the how. It simply accepts that what is felt as real within must manifest without. Imagine an architect designing a building. Before the first brick is laid, the building exists in his mind. He draws it, shapes it, and believes in it. To the casual observer, the land may look empty. Reason may say, there is no building here. But the architect holds faith in the unseen. His inner picture is more real to him than the bare ground before his eyes. And in time, his faith becomes fact, the building rises. Your life works in exactly the same way. When you assume a state and persist in it, you are the architect of your future. To others it may look foolish. They may see nothing. They may tell you it is impossible. But your task is not to convince them. Your task is to hold to your inner conviction until the unseen becomes seen. Faith is the bridge between imagination and reality. Without faith, imagination is just a fleeting thought. With faith, imagination becomes destiny. This is why it is said, according to your faith, be it unto you. You cannot reap what you do not believe. Now, this faith is not effort. It is not straining or struggling. It is simply resting in the assumption that what you desire is already yours. It is walking in the end, living from the state of fulfillment, carrying yourself as though the promise has already been kept. When doubts arise, and they will, do not fight them. Simply return to your inner vision. Remind yourself, faith creates facts. My outer world has no choice but to reflect my inner certainty. The doubts will pass, but your persistence will shape reality. Every invention, every success story, every triumph began with someone daring to believe before there was evidence. They did not wait for proof. They created proof. The Wright brothers believed in flight when reason said it was absurd. Entrepreneurs believed in their ideas when the market laughed. Visionaries held to dreams that others dismissed. And in time, their faith became the facts that now shape our world. So it is with you. Whatever your desire may be, health, love, abundance, freedom, it begins with faith. Not faith in chance, not faith in luck, but faith in the creative power within you. Believe first, and facts will follow. Remember this, faith is not something you wait to feel when life is easy. Faith is the power you exercise when reason denies you. Faith precedes the fact. And when you persist in faith, the world has no choice but to bear witness to what you have already declared within. Faith creates facts. Dare to believe, and you will see. Live in the end. The greatest secret to manifesting your desires is this: live in the end. Do not live in hope, do not live in waiting, do not live in someday. Live as though your desire is already accomplished. Feel the reality of it now. When you live in the end, you assume the state of the wish fulfilled. You do not beg for it, you do not chase it, and you do not wonder when it will arrive. You accept it in consciousness and rest in that acceptance. The world, in time, rearranges itself to reflect your inner state. Think of an actor stepping into a role. He puts on the costume, studies the script, and begins to live as the character. For those hours on stage, he is not pretending, he is being. In the same way, when you live in the end, you are not pretending to have your desire. You are embodying the state of already having it. Suppose you desire wealth. Living in the end does not mean spending recklessly or ignoring your current obligations. It means carrying within you the feeling of abundance, the quiet confidence that your needs are met, that prosperity is natural to you. From that inner state, you act, think, and speak differently, and the world responds. Suppose you desire love. Living in the end does not mean chasing or clinging. It means embodying the feeling of being cherished, valued, and deeply connected. When you hold that inner conviction, relationships transform, and the right people are drawn into your life. The key is this: you cannot reach the end by focusing on the absence of it. You cannot live in the end while dwelling in lack. To live in the end is to leap over the gap of reason and settle firmly in fulfillment. At first, your senses will deny it. You will look around and see no evidence. But this is the testing ground. Will you persist in the inner knowing, or will you surrender to appearances? The outer world always lags behind the inner shift. If you persist, the lag disappears, and the facts catch up to your faith. Living in the end is not about forcing or straining. It is about assuming a new identity. You begin to ask, if my desire were already fulfilled, who would I be? How would I think? How would I feel? How would I move through the day? Then you answer those questions by living from that version of yourself, here and now. This practice changes everything. Instead of waking up and worrying about lack, you wake up and live in gratitude as though it is already done. Instead of doubting, you affirm. Instead of waiting, you walk in confidence. And slowly but surely, the outer reality bends to your assumption. Think of it this way: a seed does not wait to become a tree before it lives as life. From the moment it is planted, the life of the tree is within it. You are the same. The moment you assume your desire, the reality of it is within you. Live from that truth, and the world must reveal it. So stop living in someday. Stop looking for signs that your desire is on its way. Assume it, feel it, embody it, live in the end, and the end will reveal itself in your world. Persistence unlocks the impossible. When you first set your mind on a desire, everything in the outer world may seem to rise against you. Reason may argue. Facts may deny. Circumstances may mock your vision. And in these moments, it is not talent, intelligence, or luck that carries you forward, it is persistence. Persistence is the steady refusal to let go of your inner vision, no matter how long it takes or how impossible it appears. It is the quiet, unshakable commitment to remain faithful to your assumption until the world bends to your will. Most people fail not because their desire is unreachable, but because they abandon it too soon. They plant a seed in the soil of imagination, then dig it up the next day, demanding to see results. They let doubt and discouragement steal their harvest. But the ones who persist, who hold fast to the end even when nothing appears to change, are the ones who witness miracles. Persistence is not struggle. It is not forcing the world to obey you. It is simply returning, again and again, to the inner state of fulfillment. When doubt whispers, persistence answers with conviction. When appearances say no, persistence silently affirms yes. When nothing changes outside, persistence continues to live in the end inside. Think of water dripping on stone. One drop does not carve the rock. 10 drops do not carve the rock. But persistence, drop after drop, day after day, breaks through the hardest surface. Your imagination works the same way. Each time you return to the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are impressing your desire deeper into consciousness, until the outer world has no choice but to yield. History proves this truth. Every great discovery, every work of art, every victory was born out of persistence. Edison failed hundreds of times before the light bulb. Wright brothers crashed before they soared. Visionaries were mocked before they were honored. They succeeded not because the world welcomed them, but because they refused to quit. Persistence is also the test of faith. Anyone can believe when things are easy. But can you believe when everything denies it? Can you hold to your assumption when your senses show the opposite? That is where true creation happens. Faith and persistence walk hand in hand. So how do you cultivate persistence? By making your inner vision more real to you than the outer facts. Each day, set aside moments to dwell in imagination, to feel the end is already here. Repeat it until it becomes natural, until it feels inevitable. Do not worry about how or when. Your only task is to persist. The rest unfolds by law. And here is the paradox: when you persist long enough, what once felt impossible begins to feel ordinary. The dream that seemed too big becomes your new normal. The outer world rearranges quietly, and suddenly, what you once prayed for is the life you are living. Remember this. Persistence turns the unseen into the seen, the invisible into the visible, the impossible into the inevitable. Never let temporary appearances dictate your destiny. Stand firm. Assume the end. Return to it again and again until the world yields. Because in the end, it is not the one who wishes, or the one who tries once, who triumphs. It is the one who persists, the one who refuses to let go of the vision until the vision becomes fact.